Oh boy, is it time for James to do weird Linux things again? Oh, I think it is. Hey everybody, how's it going? So, we've done Pop! OS. We've done Linux Mint. Y'all know where this is going because we have to finish out the trilogy, if you will, and that is Ubuntu. In case you're not super familiar with how this all works, I kind of talked about the idea of like what a distro was in the first video, but to just briefly re-summarize things. So you've got the Linux kernel, right? That's the actual like core light code that does like all the driver level stuff and like blah. Then you've got the supplementary files that go with it, like your utilities for like formatting your disks and connecting to the internet and SSH and all that stuff. So those are distros. Those different combinations of those two pieces of software are referred to as distros, distributions. The overall idea is each flavor of Linux that you can play with is its own labor of love, has its own thought put into why they chose the packages they did, why they chose the kernel parameters they did, so on and so forth. So with Pop! OS and with Linux Mint, they were actually both derivatives of Ubuntu, which itself is a distribution that is based on Debian. So you've kind of got this refinement of refinement kind of thing going down, where it's like it's waterfalling. That's why a lot of my complaints in the first video were due to Pop! OS not doing anything really that different compared to normal Ubuntu, because it basically is. And I'm hoping to showcase that today. And it's also important to note that all three of the distros that we've talked about have all been Ubuntu based. There is a lot of similarity to be expected. Don't worry, it gets weird. Whenever we start branching out into other distros, it gets real weird real quick. So without further ado, which is this the right scene? Yeah, it's the right scene. Yeah, look at me, I'm being professional. We're gonna go ahead and select Ubuntu 22.10, and we're gonna go ahead and boot our virtual machine. Hey, there we are. Try or install Ubuntu. Okay, so you've got a few options here. You're 99% of the time just going to want try or install Ubuntu. There is safe graphics where if you just get some weird crashes whenever you're booting up because of just some weird driver thing, like I had on my laptop, I think I mentioned, where when I was booting Linux Mint, I had to edit the grub config and no mode set and all that. So that's good for that. OEM install, don't worry about it. Test memory, sure, I guess. I think there's better memory testers, but... Oh, that was fancy. Okay. That kind of scared me a little bit. I do kind of like that it boots into the installer, doesn't load the icons, and gives you the option to try or install. Because with Linux Mint, it kind of just booted you to a desktop, and then you just had like a little icon in your corner. It wasn't like unintuitive. If you like literally don't know anything about computers, this is a slightly better way to do it because you're informing the user in advance of the experience that they're about to have. Another thing that I like that Ubuntu does is that it gives you an option, normal installation or minimal installation. So if all you want is just bare basic, like whatever, you can do that. If you want like actually usable stuff, you can do that too. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and install third-party software. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? Richard Stallman just breaks into my house and, all right, time for your GNU audit. Oh no. Ugh, I really need to like script this out or something. This time, it's the same 4-letter word. This is the boring parts. This is all gonna get edited out anyway. So we're just gonna kind of let it sit here while I also sit here and sip on some water. Okay, and just like that, installation is complete. We're gonna hit restart now. Okay, well, here is the out-of-box experience for Ubuntu. You connect your online account, and okay, I guess we get to decide if we're gonna send reports. We're gonna say no, and we're not gonna do location services, and that's it. That's actually pretty cool. I still think that Linux Mint has a much better onboarding experience because it walks you through the driver manager and helps you set up the snapshots, that was awesome. Yeah, I mean, the thing that Ubuntu has going for it that everyone always preaches is simplicity, right? It gets you a base image that's overall pretty solid. It's pretty well featured. Most people will be able to kind of figure out how to work it, and you can just kind of hit the ground running. So here's the settings screen, which, as I'm sure you're noticing, looks exactly like the one that was in Pop! OS. Well, normally I like to use the CLI for everything, but I'm going to attempt to do this with the GUI and just see how much more painful it is. It's actually not that bad. You can break this stuff out. You can actually specify like Specific things that you want to update. Okay. It's interesting that they have them categorized as security updates and then other updates. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's better ways to do that. Technical description. Okay. Okay, so this is the nerd stuff. So this tells you the actual package name and like, okay, there's a decent bit of information there. So it doesn't shy away from showing you it if you want it. But if you don't want it, you can shove all the nerd shit in the corner. Let's see what's under the settings here. So Ubuntu software. Okay, so you can check if you want proprietary or not. You can check if you want the multiverse packages. You can check if you want to stick in your DVD and update from there, which is, you know, viable for maybe not so much in the US, maybe not so much for the target market for who I'm trying to get to watch this video, but there are definitely places in the world where that will be handy. Other distros will definitely let you do this as well too. This is not unique to Ubuntu. Can I specify main server for United States other? And then other lets you specify a specific one. Okay. Other software. What can I do here? Enter the complete APT line to the browser. But oh, okay. So if you ever want to add a repo, this is the GUI to do with that. Okay, that's convenient. You just copy paste, hit add, and you're done. You can even tell it what kind of updates you want, when to check for updates. Download and install additional drivers. Okay, so here's the additional drivers. It's under software and updates. I'm not sure if that's the best place for it. I think Linux Mint has the better solution there because additional drivers is just a standalone program. It looks like this might actually be the same or very similar interface though. So if that's the case, that'd be pretty cool. Okay, so this is pre-release, so you can do beta testing if you want. Okay, whatever. All right, so out of the box, we've got Thunderbird as an email client. We've got our file browser, which you'll also recognize from Pop! OS, I think. I'm pretty sure this is the one that Pop! OS was using. It's pretty useful. It's fairly similar to, I think it's more similar to Mac OS's file browser than Windows's, but if you know how to use either of them, you'll figure out how to move around and do things. Now, instead, I think what we'll do is we'll do show applications here. So this is going to show me all of the stuff. Oh, so additional drivers is a standalone program here. I seem to remember a period of time when that wasn't the case. So it could just be that Linux Mint started doing that around the same time that Ubuntu did, but I was using an older version of Ubuntu and then upgraded to a newer version of Linux Mint that started doing that, or Linux Mint did it first and Ubuntu copied. I don't know. I'm sure there will be holy wars in the comments telling me about the explicit detail and timeline for how all this happens and how much of a stupid idiot I am for not knowing these extremely life-changing details. So let's see. So we got some solitaire. Wouldn't be a computer without solitaire. I don't actually know how to play solitaire. Wait, isn't the chat? No, it's 10 supposed to? No, it's alternate suites. So yeah, there we go. So I need to do. What I need to do is I need to just close this because I don't know what I'm doing. Cool. Let's check out the calendar. So calendar, it's seeming like they're going for a little bit more Mac OS vibes for how their OS is themed as an overall kind of goal. Not a bad thing. It's obviously that design works and it's pretty good. So if you're familiar with Apple products, you'll probably feel just right at home here. We've got language support, so that's right there. So instead of that being something buried in the settings, that's actually a standalone application as well. It's kind of cool that it's a standalone application rather than being buried in our settings. I imagine a lot more people will find that and be able to use that a lot better. So that's a win in my book. And it comes with the LibreOffice suite as well, which if you don't know is a free Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, so on and so forth competitor. Like I said, at some point in time, I might do a video on these and kind of compare them, but that day is not today. It's got a built-in video player. I imagine that this is probably not that good channels. What is this? Apple movie trailers, Euro News, Right TV. Let's do Euro News. I feel like I'm a lot less likely to get copyright struck by Euro News than I am Apple movie trailers. Euro News? Yes. Check. Play. Okay. Hello. There are no results. Okay, that was good. Black and white, because it's probably old enough to, okay, there's nothing. Well, I would like to know what this app does, but it just doesn't work. So that's fun. Well, so much for that. So we're going to, let's do some mahjong. There's a lot of games that comes with this, and like these are like the competing with like built-in Windows games. So you can kind of tell what their audience is, with like who they're going for, you know. Do those two match, right? Yeah, okay. Those too much. Why can't I do those? Those too much. I don't know the rules. I'm gonna stop playing now. It's kind of fun seeing like all like the little like flashbacks to my Windows days when I was a small kid, like, you know, 98, 2000, ME, 3D Space Cadet Pinball, and like, this is Minesweeper, I'm assuming. It's open source Minesweeper. Why is there a scroll bar? That's bad UI. Oh, why? Oh, that's not good. You need to anchor your properties better. Why are they anchored to like the middle side? Oh no, Canonical. Oh, you need to fix that. Power statistics, is this just like usage? Well, I imagine we can actually test that. Let me get out of the VM here. Let me get out of the VM here. How the fuck do I minimize this thing? Power statistics. Let's see what it looks like on my actual computer. The only thing that I have that actually gives battery statistics is my mouse, apparently. But that's kind of cool. It gives me the serial number. It's plugged in. Statistics. Interesting. So yeah, you can really dial down and like get some like detailed information if you really want it. So Cheese, that's a webcam. I don't have a webcam connected to the VM, so that's not going to show you anything cool. Ramina, I know what this is. This is remote desktop. Okay, so this does RDP, VNC, or SSH. That's kind of useful. Just kind of put it right there, smack in the middle. The only issue I have with this is that with Ubuntu 22.10, they switched from X as the default display window or display server to Wayland. By default, a lot of the VNC clients use X. So it's kind of tricky to get VNC properly working on Ubuntu 22.10. It's totally doable. It's just like, it's not like one click and you're done like it used to be in the past. Rhythmbox. I'm assuming this is just like a local media. Yeah, this is again, like this is skinned to look fairly similar to iTunes, or at least vaguely like iTunes. It's interesting that they created their own bespoke apps for like videos and music and everything when they could have just done VLC as a packend. Okay, so for Shotwell, getting started to import photos any of these way. Click File, Import from Folder, drag and drop photos onto the Shotwell. This is just like a photo viewer library thing. Not as useful for me personally, as I was thinking when I first saw it. I was hoping it would be some way that I could like use that to like automate footage offloads, but that looks more like a macOS Photos app, which I've literally used one time accidentally when I first opened it and went, what the fuck is this? This is disgusting, and closed it down. But I imagine grandma and mom would find that fantastic because they just import folder, here's the memory card, and it just shows everything. Software and updates we already looked at. Software updater. What is the difference between software and updates and software updater? Actually, we may not have. Yeah, okay, so this is software and updates. So we did look at that already. So it's software updater. This is literally just a completely separate program that does the actual downloads and uploads. Okay, fascinating. I don't know why they needed to be two different programs. Startup applications. That's actually really handy because you can, it's a lot better than doing it manually, I think. Because like manually you have to do it with like systemd. Startup disk creator. So this will let you, oh, this is just bootable USBs. That's extremely handy. Okay. There's not as much fun stuff really that like would be super useful. There's the games transmission. Is this like a fucking torrent program? Yeah. Wow, they ship a torrent. Okay. They've got some like weird stuff like transmissions on there, like Rhythmbox, the videos app. Backups is here. I wonder if this is the same. So we're gonna create our first backup. Folder to backup, home. I want you to also back up my slash. Okay, let me do that. Cool. Storage location. Okay. And then you can password protect it so it encrypts it. Allow restoring without a password. No, I don't want it to actually do it. I was hoping it would tell me like some more details. Okay, so now that I've done that, now I can tell it to back up automatically. But I don't get any options. Preferences. Let's see. Maybe there's a way to customize this. Keep backups forever. Backup automatically. Automate. Okay, so it's there, but they don't let you really dial in and do it exactly what. Like you've got daily, you've got 1, 2, 3 days, and then 7 days, and that's it. And they don't let you arbitrarily specify. That's weirdly limiting for some reason. Yeah, not a fan of this backup app. Like it works, I guess, but Linux Mint definitely has the advantage on this one. Like that backup app was freaking cool. Let's see, advanced network configuration. Okay, so this is the properties. Okay. Let's see, disk usage analyzer. So this is, so I'm starting to notice a trend with a lot of these included apps. It feels very much like they're marketing towards the older crowd. Hey, look at how big and friendly everything is, and it's so easy to read, and like blah, it's streamlined. Like the backup app is, I think, a great example of that, where Linux Mint kept it really simple, but still gave you the full flexibility that you want. I don't know what the colors mean. Are the colors literally just there? I'm also assuming that these are like the chunks. Can I switch the, okay. I wish there was like a guide for like what the colors are. Or like, are they different folders? Okay, they're different folders and then they're subdirectories. That's not intuitive. Like, it works, but I wish there was like a color key chart or something. Well, overall, not as much fluff to a stock Ubuntu install as Linux Mint. It's a lot closer to Pop! OS in that regard, which was basically just the shell and then the store. So I guess with all that said, it does come with some cool stuff. Like, it comes with transmission. It's just weird that comes with transmission. I think now is the time to check out the Ubuntu software store. You know, this actually might be worth revisiting in the future as well, because I think one thing that I want to do a video on is I want to do a video on Flatpak versus Snap versus just a direct install, because I am highly opinionated. For the record, I don't like either Flatpaks or Snaps. Just go ahead and get that out of the way. I acknowledge that they exist for reasons. I just think that, like with modern web development being what it is, where everything's a packaged Electron app that just eats up like a gig of hard drive space and 40% of my CPU just sitting on the main screen doing nothing because everything's Chromium these days. I feel like the Flatpaks and Snaps are in the same vein of usefulness. Is this ever gonna load? I have no problem with like them conceptually. They do cool things. It's just it's the philosophical side of things that I don't like. I don't know why I said that weird. Why did nobody tell Gregory here to like lay off the meth like before the photo shoot? Like, Jesus Christ. Oh God, PowerShell exists on Linux? Oh no. It's bad. It's just terminal rescan. Don't get it. Okay, well, it's okay. It's good. Try it. Okay, definitely not a bot. Nice. Very good. Just like the Windows one. So say no to Billy Gates. Billy Gates is a globalist. Screw him and his software. Okay, so let's see what their categories are. So we've got quite a few, actually. I guess we should start with the same kind of rotation that we've done the last few times. We're gonna start with games. AAAAXY. Okay, so someone just ripped off VVVVVV. That's cool. Bash Shell RPG, a 2D open world action. So Zork. Okay, we're off to a good start here, aren't we? RPG dice roller. Okay, that could, yeah, sure, fine. Why do I need my password? Duck Marines remake of Choo Choo Rocket. What the fuck? What is this? This must be like relatively new too, because it's only got 2 reviews. I'll have to look into that. It's a free-to-play graphical MMORPG. The fact that they had to say graphical frightens me. I want to see what we're about to experience. Oh, so it's WoW but bad. Oh, okay. Is that man just staring at a tiger? This looks like this will be completely awful. 3.3 out of 5 stars. They have an Android client. I have to play this. I think whenever I get my capture solution figured out and I start being able to use physical hardware and I can actually like use my GPU, oh boy, I might dedicate a video just to exploring the app stores and just playing weird fucking games. Why are the 2 things different? Why is there a description on there that you can't read all of, and then it's not the same description that's here? That seems bad. I mean, the game seems fine, but like Infinite Trap is a hardcore top-down platform, right? Like like it keeps going, but then you click on it and that text doesn't exist here. And it's nowhere else on the page. All right, well, there's a RetroArch, so we're gonna go ahead and install that too. Yeah, I am absolutely gonna have to like come back and like just experiment with the app stores, because there has been some weird shit in all of these. Okay, let's jump into development. So right away, I will have to say I'm really not a fan of the performance of this store. It's very slow, and I don't really know why. Okay, this is all like typical stuff like I would expect to see. Some extra stuff that we haven't seen on the others. Flutter SDK. That's kind of interesting that they include the SDK of all things via a snap. How does that work, actually? Embedded CMake is outdated. Why can they not refresh the environment of this Flutter engine? Okay, yeah, so it's literally just a built-in environment. So this is just like, that seems like a bad idea. Don't do that. See why I have issues with snaps. Yeah, there's some good stuff in here. There's .NET runtime if you need that. Nginx, Node. Again, I don't know because these are runtimes. I had to reinstall to update versions. Node version is 18 plus and npm version is 6 plus. Yet install class-based apt component React script version is too old. Try to start a new React project with the command install very old version of React script. The problem is in v16 till v18.13.0. Okay, so yeah, so the snaps are just kind of outdated from what I'm getting from reading the comments here, which it's kind of to be expected if they're bundling not like a library, but like if they're, I can't talk tonight. Snaps are like, it's a pre-packaged thing that's just got stuff in it all ready to go, and like you can just run it, and it doesn't matter what you've got installed, you can just run the snap and the snap will have what it needs to run, right? Okay, good in theory for finished programs, terrible for development side. That sounds like an awful idea. Like, install your IDE, that's fine, but like libraries would be like out of date like instantly, won't they? Ubuntu image, create Ubuntu images. And everyone's like, it just doesn't work. Okay, yeah, so let's switch gears here a little bit. Let's kind of go more towards where the snap idea really comes into play here. So let's try something, you know what, music and audio would be perfect because these are programs that you don't have to update a whole lot. They'll have codecs built into them. This is arguably perfect for snaps, right? Like you just kind of install it and it just works on everything. You don't have to think about it too hard, and just life is easy. Life is good. A tone generator inspired by the Corgi or what? Ooh. I might play with that here. Fuck, what do I need my password? Entropy piano tuner. Oh boy, can I finally get that A equals 432 hertz that I've been looking at? 6 reviews total. Why is there only 1 review showing then? Why is it 3.3? Things are just weird. Like, I don't understand. Fubar 2000, but it's a wine package? What? Yo, this is wild. I use this as my first to use in Windows. Install Hero, neither open or delete, so I could try again. Bummer, stuck with his dead weight. Can open files from external hard drive, access denied. Permission issues, common with snaps, common with Flatpaks. Has useless junk format plugins, but can't read CD text by default. Oh, okay, that's embarrassing. Worse than modern Electron apps. Why does this piece of small app goes with wine installation? Declares the installed download size 4.9 Fubar 2000 folders, 82 megs. Also seems to require wine. Is that not reported as requirement? I mean, it's in the name, my dude. Unfortunately, because the fact that Ubuntu is more popular, you get a lot more of those people leaving reviews, if you know what I mean. Yeah, okay, whatever. This will get the point across about what snaps are, so that's fine. It's not grab anymore. Like, I mean, we've proven the point. We've grabbed stuff. We know what to do. So let's play with some of the new stuff that we have. So we have cherry dice. So this will be like a D&D dice roller. Okay, this is not off to a great start. Why is this? This took me to like the help page for the fucking library that they're using. Oh no, dude. Oh, that's not good. I can't even begin to start with that one. All right, we're just gonna move on real quick. I guess we'll try Potter. This one seems pretty straightforward. Yeah, okay, this one works. I was ready for this one to not work. So, yeah, this seems pretty straightforward. Like, see, this is like the idea of a snap. Is you just have a program that comes with all of the distributed software stuff that it needs, specific libraries. You put it on there and it just works. And like, yeah, it literally just works. Let's check out Quran Central. I'm not gonna read any of that because I'm gonna horribly mispronounce the names and just it's gonna be bad. How do I get to like more? It says all, but like, oh, these are literally all they're just going to show me. Okay, so search. So I have to search for specific. Well, it says top 50. So why is it only showing me 10? This does not... Okay. Are these the only podcasts that this app has? No. Tech. It's not! So what the fuck? This app... Oh boy. Okay. So the app just makes no sense. Okay. Man, we are hitting the wall here pretty quick. Okay. I want to play with the Borg Year 3. I can't wait for this to not work. Okay, so I love me some noise generators. Can I make this any bigger? This does not scale. This is not scaling aware. That's obnoxious at 4K. I can't read shit. None of the... I'm just kind of getting pops, and like I'm trying to move the dials, and like they're not moving. I kind of moved that one. Like normally with dials like this, like you kind of grab it, and then you move the mouse up and down, and like it'll go left and right. So like, do I use the... Well, I don't know how I moved the one though. Well, how did I move that one? Oh boy, this is this is not going well. Oh wow, this is kind of a disaster. What the hell? Well, I know one thing that we can do real quick. So I downloaded the 240p test suite because I wanted to have something to play on RetroArch. So I was like, okay, whatever, we'll just load the test suite. So I'm trying to extract this thing. So I'm dragging and dropping like you think it would work, and it just doesn't work. So it's like, okay, well, so then you hit extract, and then it popped open another window. I guess this is like the file browser, and then you hit extract a second time? That's super convenient. Okay. All right, well, now that we got that open, let's go on to RetroArch. Copying necessary files. This could take a minute. Okay. Well, I know it's kind of a big thing, but like, shouldn't it just from the snap? Just that was weird. Okay. Why does it have this weird title? Oh, is that just how Snap apps look? Because the podcast app looked the same way, but RetroArch does not normally have this bizarre banner. I don't expect the performance to be great on this, so we're just gonna we'll just do VS NES because I am lazy and uncreative. And then we're going to load content. Ooh, that's a good question. Where did this download to? Home, Snap, Firefox, Common. Why did it not go to my downloads folder? That's weird. Oh, because it's a Snap. Right. So we're going to go to Home, Snap, RetroArch. Not quite what I want, but I can go to Parent Directory, Home, Snap, Firefox. Don't have permission to access the Firefox directory, I guess. So that's annoying. So I'll just copy this from Firefox to RetroArch. 2005 common current. Okay. Okay. So I guess we'll just paste it there. Okay, there it is. The performance is not great as I expected, but it totally definitely works. That RetroArch experience really isn't that good compared to like the native RetroArch experience, because like the Snap directory thing, like that's weird. I don't like that. I guess like in an effort to silo them from each other, they're only allowed to access their own directory on disk, which makes sense from like a security standpoint, but it's really annoying. Like it's modern Android in terms of like trying to like share files. Like if you ever tried to use an emulator on modern Android, it's kind of annoying trying to figure out how to get things to load properly, especially RetroArch, because like you have to like figure out how to get access to the RetroArch folder in order to customize your configs, and like it's a whole disgusting thing. So I'm really not happy with the snaps situation. Now, for comparison, I think it's only fair if I do this. This is going to be the one and only time during this series, if I can avoid it, besides trying to mount my fucking share. I'm going to load up the CLI, and I'm going to install normal RetroArch. And I want to show y'all the permissions. Actually, can I just give it different permissions? Access files in your home folder. Read system mount information and disk quotas. Allow access to the network. Access USB hardware directly. Read, write files on removable storage devices. But no, just allow completely untested file access. Okay, so again, I get where they're coming from this. Like, I understand the utility behind it. I fucking hate this. Like, yeah, it's a little bit more maintenance, having to like keep track of your packages and make sure you're installing things correctly. I get it. It sucks. It's inconvenient. But like, fucking Christ, figure it out. It's not that difficult. I might need to, I don't even need to add the, repo for this. So I just, right away. App install. Yep. We're gonna tell it yes. I can't wait for me to load this up and it just be horrifically broken. And we're gonna load up this RetroArch. So right away. Okay. Well, that did not scale correctly. Okay. Will you scale properly now? No? Okay. So let's go to the online updater, So if we go to the online updater, the layout. Oh, never mind. I'm just stupid. No, I'm not stupid. What the fuck? No, the online updater is like missing like some stuff compared to normal RetroArch. So even doing it this way, the quote unquote correct way, is still not right. Because like I need to be able to download, like I'm missing assets. Like why can't I do the online updater to download the assets? Yeah, and this is 1.7.3. This is very out of date. So I'm guessing that somebody else is maintaining a package of RetroArch, which means I'm going to have to add the repo and do all that. Oh boy. Okay, that's annoying. Well, we're not going to dive into that because I think I've proven my point. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. So far, Linux Mint has been the best. Even though they're all Ubuntu based, including Ubuntu itself, Ubuntu has some interesting, well thought out additions, especially with like terms of like their OS level additions. So like how you do the updates, the installer itself. Generally, it's pretty well laid out, but like, man, that Snap Store, that is an horrendous user experience. That's so bad that I'm at the point where I kind of just don't want to do this anymore. Cause like this is immediately like just don't even bother. Like, I mean, if you're familiar with the CLI and you can just install stuff normally, just do that. Then Ubuntu's probably fine. But like for the audience that I'm recommending this to, like who this whole series is designed for, this is a mess. But it's okay. My piano tuner works. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest, guys. So far, Linux Mint is very solidly in the lead for like, no, this is the best version. Like now that I've like conceptually, I've had issues with the whole Snap Store, and like I don't really like a lot of what it does. But now that I've actually sat down and I've played with it, it feels not ready. Like this is like half baked. It's not well thought out. It feels like. This feels like Canonical as a parent company kind of was like, okay, rather than have a goal experience in mind and then building the solution to fit that goal and kind of fleshing it out, it feels more like they had a framework that they wanted to implement, but not a problem or solution that they were trying to solve with it. And as such, the framework, like it's not really enhancing the user experience in any way, and it's kind of getting in the way a lot. Granted, it can be really annoying trying to track down like package conflicts and like, oh, I actually need an older version of Apache for this or whatever. That can be very annoying, and that can be difficult to try to troubleshoot, especially if you're new to Linux. This is not the answer. Like, let me just pull up some more of these. Let me pull up CMake here. Let me see how out of date this is. Failed to start, failed to start, failed to start, failed to start, cannot start CMake. So it just was broken for like forever, apparently. Well, now I'm curious, if I install it, is it just gonna not work? Like that's I shouldn't even have to think about that. Like I shouldn't have to waste my brain power going, should I read reviews of something cool that I found in the store? Should I see if it even functions properly? Should I then install it to see if it functions properly? And then if it doesn't function properly, then I'll go figure it out. Like, no, like I'd rather just like install it. Okay, well, it does just work, I guess. The fact that like I have to like look at this and take this into account, like I don't like that, especially with like things like fucking cherry dice that just like immediately started giving me like it's like it launched in debug mode or something. Like what the fuck? That's probably the app's fault more than anything. Yeah, this ain't it, Chief. Well. All right, guys. Well, tune in next week. We're going to take a look at some Manjaro. I'm really looking forward to that. I miss me some Arch. We're going to play. I'm going to show you some cool stuff. And we'll get to experience the beauty that is the AUR, which is, I think, one of the single-handed greatest assets to the entire Linux community as a whole. And it is wonderful, and I am so excited. Verdict from this video, I would honestly recommend you to install Pop! OS over base Ubuntu at this point. Because like if you're the guy who like doesn't know anything about Linux, this experience is miserable. if you were opening up RetroArch and you're like, oh, I just want to I just downloaded a ROM from Firefox. I just want to play it. And then you go to that directory and it's just not there. Like, okay, why is it not there? Why can't I see anything? Like, it doesn't give you any reasons as to why. There's no like list of permissions that pop up whenever you're installing an app. Like, hey, your app is going to request these. If you want to enable additional ones, click here. Like, that just doesn't happen. So like the only way that I found the permissions thing was when I came here to uninstall it and gave me the permissions that I could mess with. That's horrible. There's no way I can recommend this for the older crowd, because like how are you going to navigate them through going back to the app store and then, oh, you see the little tiny settings button, click on that. Now there's like 20 dials. I need you to find the one that says this. Like, that's awful. Jesus. Have a good night, y'all. I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to be mad for like the next 3 hours now. Holy fuck.